Welcome to the Double D experience, where the D's are huge and the balls are bigger. Especially in this case. As we're opening up with a meaty of a topic today. I know I have said I've started this podcast with my best friend and bestest buddy in the world, Denise, to do this fucking podcast to kind of distance myself from the Smash community a bit. And I have. I've grown a much healthier relationship with it. My circle in it is way more close-knit. I consider myself just to have fun at the local level. Still cast when I get the opportunities to do so, but I don't play the political game or suck any dick to, do a job that's basically a glorified internship, no disrespect. Everybody uses it to get from one place. I do it. I'm roasting myself.
I know,
I'm roasting myself, dude.
There's some people who take themselves very seriously out there in the world.
That's their own... That's
they
their own
conundrum. They think they're casting like the Super Bowl or some shit.
That's their own conundrums of philosophy, Dennis. That's something they got to deal with in themselves. Everybody got to humble themselves. You just humbled me before we started the podcast about the podcast. So basically, I'm long-winded. I started this podcast sort of to distance myself a little bit or to start doing something else. So whenever Smash drama happens, it's not necessarily something I want to talk about, especially if it's like a he said, she said, or some shit where like there's no conclusive evidence, where basically it's just everybody playing fucking Twitter morality police or Twitter detective, blah, 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 all that shit. I'm too old for that shit. We both are. Dennis, even when he was my age or younger than me, even though we're not that far apart in age, he was already like, fuck that shit. This one, though, I want Dennis's opinion on. Okay. Because it's kind of funny in a fucked up kind of way.
Okay. Alright, lay it on me.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Oh, whoa. I felt that all up your microphone.
God damn.
Sorry
about that.
That's okay, I'll just cut it out.
God damn you, sister. How dare you ask me what I want for food tonight?
How dare you?
How dare you, yes. Okay, go ahead.
Right. So, there's a player... You're gonna laugh already. Okay. There's a player, a melee player, a very, very good melee player. He's a top player. His tag is Bobby Big Ballz.
Okay.
He has been banned. Banished from this ethereal plane.
To the Shadow Realm.
That is the true cosmic superiority of competitive Smash Brothers. Because the guy, even though it was a little indirect, drank and drove. Now, immediately you would think, fuck yeah, this guy deserves his ban. Are you kidding? That's ridiculous. What happened is the guy he was not operating the motor vehicle at the time. He was parked. And was like 3 minutes away from his house or something. And naturally there's some people, especially his fans, who are defending him for this, which is already the polar opposite of based. I think it's cringe. Nor is it keck. It is just cringe, as I say. But what happened is, a caster named Fentric Lamar reposted it, like a Twitch clip that somebody clipped, of him taking a big-ass bottle of wine and essentially chugging it a little bit while parked, and then afterwards operating the motor vehicle to drive like 3 minutes or however far away it was to his house. My stance is that constitutes drinking and driving.
Yeah.
It does not matter that the fucking car was not moving, or if it was just a swig. It was basically just a swig. But still, it makes you think, would you care as much if he took that swig before he operated the car outside the bar or some shit like that, or if it was just what he drank a little bit beforehand? And I'm not justifying his actions. I think it's completely, justified the way this happened, but the reason the debate doesn't even matter, really.
Okay.
Because he violated the Twitch terms of service by doing this. Which, I don't know if y'all know how Twitch terms of service work. If you have been banned off of Twitch, your channel gets banned. And it was an indefinite ban, so, he's gone. Basically, he can't stream no more.
Okay.
You also no longer can appear on any other Twitch stream. Or that channel gets banned. So, effectively, this guy sent himself to the Shadow Realm because he can't appear on any other Twitch stream anymore.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if he didn't get banned from Smash tournaments. He has to be banned from Smash tournaments now
Just
because
by proxy.
they can't by proxy because they can't have him on stream, otherwise they're gone. And this isn't like some low-level 0-2 shitter where they could maybe get away with it or something. This guy's a top 8 level player. Like, he'll get to the top echelons of the brackets. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna shift the camera a little to the side like this? Basically, make it so he doesn't appear?
I was even thinking, like, just out loud, I'm like, the guy could just, like, have a pseudonym, wear a funny mask when he goes on stage to play. Could call himself El Drinkino Nino when or whatever, and just kind of like just go by that name forever until I guess the ban's lifted.
What,
and,
like fucking Jacques Souvenir from The Office?
Like he could just be a Batman. He could literally just be like a Batman at Smash tournaments, and no one. Oh, I mean, everyone will know who the fuck it is, but like at least on the Twitch stream when they're announcing the players and like just putting up their names and like what the record is or what the score is like at the moment. Like it'd be really easy if they wanted to accommodate him, but they're not going to because like it's just more work for us and like for what? Like I think even most organizers would not give a fuck if he did show up or not.
Right.
And I'm not like I don't know you, bro, personally. It was a pretty stupid like move on your part by doing that.
This might get you to know him a little better. I'm gonna play the Twitch clip in question. Okay. You don't even need to watch it. Just all you have to do is listen to it.
Okay.
And you'll get like a sort of general gist. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Couldn't be me, man. Hey, you couldn't be me, man. Hey, my car's pretty old, but I ain't got no dents in this bitch. Yeah, you know the fucking vibe.
He's taking the drink.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like Michael Jackson, man. I'm feeling like the king of pop right now. Couldn't be me, man. Hey, my car's...
Okay. I now have like 2% of your being has like been downloaded now. I feel as if I have like a very tip of the iceberg knowledge of like what kind of person you are, I guess. Not gonna try to assume nothing, but
he's a little bit towards that non-PC side-ish as well. Like he's dropped some of the slurs. Yeah. And every now that was a white man, by the way.
Yeah.
And not even just like the gamer slur, but like the other gamer slur. You know the vibes.
Yeah, the fun word.
Your favorite gamer words, Dennis, essentially. So that wasn't the reason for his banning, obviously, but like I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. The guy is kind of a shithead.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. Like
I don't know
right
him,
off of a glance. When I heard his voice, I just knew this guy was such a douche. Like
from the stupid Twitter lens of like, oh, I think I know so much about you based off this one clip. We know a little bit about you based off the clip. We don't know your life. We don't know what you've been through. Like me and Dennis have advocated against Twitter for a very long time now. But at the same time, your actions do have consequences, and your actions do speak about you. And doing that in your car just because, yeah, man, fuck it, you know the vibes. Yeah, shit, man.
Let me ask, has he tried on any platform to defend himself, like, at all?
Let me read you the quote retweet, actually. Or the repost. The repost. The re-X. My bad.
The Rex.
Alright, here's the retweet. It's kind of sad in a funny kind of way, because it lets you know the kind of guy that this guy is, that he's even, like, memeing about this. Alright, here we go. I feel nothing like the king of pop anymore.
Did he really say that?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Twitch ban is indefinite, which means you won't see me at any tourneys, online or offline. Rest in peace, Bobby Big Ballz, 1998 to 2023. See you in another lifetime, boys. And then a broken heart emoji.
Bro literally said press F in chat for himself.
This guy, he gives me the same vibes as like a prank TikToker in a way.
Yeah, I was
with the way that he's talking and the way that like he's so. This is the kind of guy that I feel like your grandmother fears at night when they think about the Zoomer generation.
Oh, like
I feel like this is the dude that old people. Yeah, I feel like this is the dude that old people think every like Zoomer is. basically. The fact that they respond to like a serious ban in the way that he cannot compete in Smash anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Unless the tournaments are just completely unstreamed or something like that, but most big tournaments, or all big tournaments, are not going to do that. So he fucked himself on this front, on this way. But like the fact that like he's responding to it in this way too, saying like,
rest in peace. What was it? Bobby Big Ballz?
That's his tag, yes. He says, surely one singular sip of my 12% wine on my 3-minute drive home from 7-Eleven doesn't classify as drunk driving. As a streamer, I'm wrong, and I'll take the responsibility for my actions, and if the community wants to ban me, I will humbly oblige. I'm not a role model, please don't accept my internet personality as such. I stream to make people smile through entertainment. I am not meant to be a beacon of morals and values, I am just me. Then it gets cringe.
This is still him talking.
Yes. Drinking is a way I cope with life.
Okay.
You're welcome to judge me. This is just my truth, not an excuse. Thank you to anyone who still supports me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say if he wasn't trying to justify what he was doing as not drinking and driving, which it is, it doesn't matter if the car wasn't moving, you still was taking swigs of alcohol and
just
then
by the
operated
law,
the
like
vehicle.
you did, like, drink and drive.
Like, don't try to fucking, like, gaslight us around that. Alright?
Yeah,
fuck off with that shit. But what I will say is that after that, the response seemed pretty mature, and that I kind of respect this dude, in that he said, yeah, I'm not a role model.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. Like,
there's a lot of fuckers in esports who pretend to be.
Yeah,
and I've been in those backroom Smash Brothers conversations. I've heard the diner talks, and most of it is great. Most people don't give a shit about, like, you know, drama that doesn't concern us or whatever. We like to try to outgrow it. But then you hear stories of, like, grown-ass, like, 30-year-olds, like, publicly drinking on bridges and, like, having cops, like, breaking, like, the parties up at majors and shit. And the only thing I can think to myself is that is something an actual 16-year-old fucking brags about.
Yeah.
Like, I was drinking and the cops chased me off. I'm like, bro, you're 30. I don't think that's cool.
Yeah.
No judgment. You do your fucking life however you want, but the fact that you're talking to me about it, this is an actual story, by the way. The fact that you're talking to me about it as if, like, I'm so cool, look what I did. You can't remember when the cops broke us up for fucking being drunk as hell and drinking in public outside. Smashers are never beating the degenerate allegations. And they are fucking degenerates. I will tell you that first fucking hand. They're not real people. Like, they're actually not real people. I love a lot of them to death. I met some of my closest friends through it. Some of them are fucking weird.
Yeah.
And again, no judgments. You live your life how you want, but your actions have consequences.
Yeah.
So,
what's your question for me then?
My question is, like, how do you feel about this? He did just take a swig before drinking. I don't know his response and stuff like that. And also the way he ended it with saying, drinking is a way I cope with life. Which lets me know that my man needs help.
Yeah. He needs to go to an AA meeting.
Like, that's... If you publicly admit that drinking is how you cope with shit...
You in a dark place.
I'm not trying to Jeff Foxworthy your ass, but you might be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask what you thought about that, because, like, this isn't, like, petty drama or anything like that, or, like...
If I'm just... Okay.
You know, this is, like, something with concrete evidence that he streamed himself doing it. It's not like, you know, a he said, she said, or any dumb shit like that. I would not bring a topic like that to you, Dennis.
Okay.
I respect you and love you too much for that. I want you to know that.
If I'm being honest, truthfully...
Yeah? He's got to take the L, right?
I think he already has. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's bowing out pretty graciously. Like, I guess, like, he's bowing out. Like, he's taking it pretty well, in my opinion. Like, he's not really, like, flailing his fists at anybody in particular. Like, then he's literally kind of pointing at himself and says, like, you know, I did dumb thing, me sorry. And basically, you just even break it down even further. Like, also, I'm not a role model. Like, I mean...
You respect that, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's
just
what I'm saying.
Just the fact that he fucking said that?
There's a bit of nuance with this guy. Like, I think he's very much aware of the kind of person he is. And he is very unapologetic about it. Which, to a certain degree... I can always sort of admire, just because, like, under pressure from the cesspit that is X and other platforms where people gather. Bunch of fucking mouth breathers. Like whenever like someone has like that pressure kind of like thrown on them, they kind of buckle and they sort of like, you know, say they either succumb to it or they literally fight it, but but when they fight it, it's very much like in a very futile, flailing sort of way.
Right.
And they always try to like kind of defend themselves. They try to deflect it like off of something else, maybe saying like, oh, my parents fucked me up, or like my uncle diddled me, or something, whatever. There's always something that they always try to deflect it off to, never really sort of like taking responsibility for their actions. Mm-hmm. And the guy, like, I'll say this much: he's mature enough that like him even just saying that like kind of tells me like, okay, like this guy knows like I'm a shithead. Like I think he knows he's a shithead. Like and at the
his
very least,
in-game tag on Slippy is Chicken Man 400.
Quite mature for his age too, I'm sure.
He was like the edgy meme lord, or like he's like he was like the edgy meme lord of the Melee community. Actually, this is not an Ultimate player. This is a Melee guy.
Yeah. So like already, you know, he's, I don't know, just off like the couple minutes that we've been talking about him, like he's like not a good person, but also not a bad person.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's just a neutral asshole, if like that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
he's very much just kind of like in the gray on that. It'd be one thing if like, you know, obviously everyone dogpiled on him and like he started to just kind of like hurl out like the funny gamer words like out there on Twitter or on X.
He does.
I know, but like if he was saying that to like all
Twitch.
his like to his critics though. Like, if he was, like, going that route where, like, he's just fighting with everyody on X.
Yeah, fuck all y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all can't cancel me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm uncancelable.
That's
man,
different.
I'm the chicken man.
Oh, hold on. That's different. But he didn't go that route. And I could respect that to a certain degree. Like, yeah. Like, it's very rare that you see that from... I mean, I don't know if he is like an internet personality or whatever, but like, you know, at least that's kind of like the sort of category that I put him in. Maybe not like a top tier one, obviously, but like just someone that everyone kind of knows, like from X and others and other platforms. So like at the very least, it's like he knows he has a following. And, you know, again, like the way that he just sort of like handled himself and all that, I think was pretty respectful. At the very least, it was like gracious enough that like he just sort of kind of owned up to it and said like, and I'm sorry. And I don't know how well you can try to appeal to Twitch to kind of repeal a ban and all that, but I don't know, like he wait, hold on. Like the thing is that like, I mean, he whatever, if he can, he can, but I think I'd like to think that at the very least it's like he won't, if he ever does come back to Twitch, he will not be a what do you call it? He will still continue to be an edgelord. I know that for a fact. Like, I think for a lot of people who are edgelords and who are like 30 plus and are edgelords, it kind of never really goes away. But I think it just like kind of lowers down a bit in degrees. Right. Because I said some real heinous shit when I was younger. Like, and for anyone who like sort of grew up on like that Xbox 360 lobby sort of era. Like, what kind of person around that era wasn't saying some heinous shit to each other? Or, like, telling them to kill themselves, or God forbid, like, whatever else. Oh, I fucked your mom. Like, oh, your mom said, like, my dick was great last night.
Dropping them good old gamer words from the safety of your couch.
Yeah, just saying the really fun N-words that everyone loves to say. And, I guess, yeah, like, it's just, for him, like, I think if he ever does come back... I think at the very least, like, he'll kind of take it as a learning experience. And like, I even kind of like I always kind of like to see stuff like this as like learning experiences. Yeah. And I think maybe, hopefully, he sort of views it the same way, just because like, you know, he knows he fucked up. And like, I hope at least it like compels him to like go to like an AA meeting or like something like to kind of help deal with that, because that part was a little dark when he said like, this is how I cope with my problems.
Yeah, and, I'm rooting for that as well, because that's very telling. Like, people like to like, judge somebody's entire character based on Twitter. I mean, we're talking about that right now as well, talking about like who this guy is, and we don't know him. Neither of us have ever met him, but his actions are reflective of, parts of his personality. You can't say that they're not, like Twitter or no Twitter, whatever. And one of the things that is a telltale sign is like somebody admitting, yeah, I drink to cope. That's not good. And if you encourage that, you're a fucking shithead.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm totally on board with you, my man. I agree completely. It's just I thought this case was interesting because of the way he owned up to it and the way that he did, in the memey way, saying, "Y'all feel nothing like the King of Pop anymore." Like, it just lets me know that that's who this guy actually is, and also in that he admitted to not being a role model. Because there's so many, like, I think idolization is a big problem in Smash or in esports in general.
Because across the board.
Everybody wants to work in esports, right? Everybody wants to be a content creator. And the thing is, like, those people get judged way harder than their favorite celebrities who wind up doing the same thing. I will forever remind people that Drake made out with a 15-year-old live on stage at one of his concerts. Nobody gave a fuck. Your favorite music artist, guarantee they like fucking fuck like groupies and shit. They have those pull up. They're lucky to do that. Your favorite content creator does it? No, I can take this person down. They're more believable. This person needs to be held to my standards.
Although some truly are just scum-ass people. Yeah. Like Shane Dawson and a few others from way back when. That guy deserved all the shit that he got. For all the shit that he did. So
no, I think a lot of them are terrible people. If anything, I think they're more terrible people because I think Hollywood really corrupts a lot of good people and turns them into the drug addicts and shit that they are because of the Hollywood elite and how cringe Hollywood is. But content creators, they're not part of the Hollywood elite. They're just people
they're their own circle too.
They're just straight up people who get too big for their britches because the funny number go up too high on their social platforms.
Yeah.
That's why I think they're genuinely shitty. As opposed to, some dumbass celebrities.
That is true, and it's the reason why that people who turned out to, like, actually be, like, decent people out, like, after they've, like, gone through their little circle of fandom.
Yeah.
Like PewDiePie. Like, when Felix, like, thing basically was as big as he was, I don't know, I wasn't really following him too closely by that time, but I knew that he was actually fairly humble with where he was at. He, like, very much, like... I think he really cared more for the work he was doing rather than what it gave him. Because I mean, like, it did catapult him to like the very like top of YouTube. He was the king of YouTube for a while, and like
king of YouTube.
Yeah, I know, and like now like that title means nothing anymore. It was so funny how like everyone was so hyper fixated about like who had the most subs and shit, and like now it almost does not even matter like who has the most subs, and like it just became like an irrelevant title like thing after I think Pewds like basically finished.
Once you reach a certain threshold, you can already make a living off of it, and so nobody cares anymore.
Matter. Yeah, like the whole like title almost doesn't matter. And like again, going back to him, sorry for getting sidetracked there. He like the way he turned out too, he's like still fairly like. I think he is very much proud of how everything turned out, but at the same time, he's still very humble as well. And at the same time, he also, like, I don't know, I really, for the most part, like, very much dislike when big YouTubers try to, like, kind of, like, go, it's like, my subscribers are the best subscribers. I love all of you. And it's like, it just sounds like the most, like, fakest shit to me like ever, Yeah. But at the very least, like, the most you can do is at least just respect your audience. You know what I mean? And at least for Felix's case, he does do that. And like he doesn't say that really like fake ass shit of like, it's like the bro army is the best army. Like you bro fist. Like just
nor does he treat his audience like a commodity or like a weapon
that he can
just take and like send to like another content creator that he doesn't like or whatever. Like all those
he
shit
never
ass ones,
brigaded
like,
ever.
All those shit ass ones like Leafy and Keemstar and like all those asshole people like use them as fucking tools and like their dumb little culture wars or like their dumb little feuds or whatever.
It's a little like mouth breathing army. That's how they use them. And like for at least in Felix's case, like he because even around the time when he was getting as big as he was and when he was at the top, his audience was still, for the most part, mostly kids, mind you. And he, like, never tried to, at least, I don't know, maybe, like, if I have to delve deeper into that rabbit hole, maybe he did or maybe he didn't, I don't know. But I like to think he didn't just because of the kind of guy he actually, like, you know, is. I don't obviously know him in real life, but I think off a glance, like, you could kind of tell, like, he's just a mellow Swedish dude who lives in Japan now. And now he has a kid, so it's like, obviously, he's too old for all this dumb shit that he sees, like, on the internet now.
Yeah.
And, like, in his case, it's like even before he had the kid, and like I know when he was just dating Marzia as well, like he was just for the most part like, I'm just doing YouTube. And like, I mean, there was that little snafu he had where he like said the N-word or something like way back when, but like he,
you know, ruined ad revenue for like everyone else on the platform for a while. Yes, we all remember the adpocalypse. Yeah,
but like at the same time though, it's like, you know, I almost didn't care. Because it's like, I know for a fact there's not really any malicious part of him in his body. He's just like, he was just a stupid mistake, really. It would be one thing if he actually said it with some like conviction, right? But for him, it was just kind of like, it's like, oh, oops, oh shit, sorry, that was a game. My gamer side came out a little bit. Yeah. I said a little bit of a fun word there.
That's why I wanted to ask you about Bobby Big Ballz. I'm like, is this guy really just a shithead who made a really stupid mistake, or is he like a genuine danger? Which in this case really doesn't matter.
He's not a genuine danger.
Yeah, which in this case really, it wouldn't even matter if he was or wasn't, because he still did break the law. He broke the Twitch terms of service, and him being banned by them is enough for him to be like banned from other tournaments. I just think it's funny. Like, I don't want to be that guy who just like sits here and be like, I don't want to be a hater, even though I could still be bitter sometimes. Not as often as I used to be many years ago, but like, you know, I've been in this game for a real long time, and to the point where I really don't even care about it no more, like, a lot of times. Like, yeah, I'm out here doing me. Again, I'm not scrapping for pennies out here, or, like, just an overgrown theater kid like every fucking Smash commentator is who wants so desperately to get validated for attention, or to be smart and just use it as a stepping stone to other things, which most of them do. I'm not here to be a hater, but at the same time, it's just funny how there's people who brag about, like, you know, the degenerate activities they do, and then they're gung-ho. Like, on just to get rid of this guy. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, I guess it's different because what he did would endanger others at the same time, but it's just weird. Like, there's, like, a certain lack of awareness or immaturity in, like, the content creator, Smash, esports space and whatnot. It's like, it just attracts so many emotionally immature people, and it reflects on a bigger problem society has as a whole. Like I mentioned, like, we talked about in the Danny Sexbang episode, like, literally, like, 2 years ago, how fucking people will be so gung-ho to cancel somebody for some minor shit that they did, even if it's not illegal. Like, you know, they'll dig for, like, the power imbalance and shit like that, and all the stuff that they use to cope with, like, with people that they don't like. But, again, it's like they pretend, or, like, are not, more I should say, not even aware that I guarantee their favorite celebrity has done shit like that, man.
Yeah.
Not to say that they're all shitters or whatever, but, like, you know, Drake has groupies. He made out with a 15-year-old live on stage at one of his concerts.
Groupies.
Leo has groupies. He dates women that are way too young for him. DaBaby shot and killed a guy in a Walmart. Will forever remind people of that.
Funny enough, though, he's actually kind of been on the downturn as of late. So
he has.
Exactly.
He has,
yeah.
for
So
sure,
at the very least, it's like, you know what? Karma kind of came around on this one.
No, everybody gets their comeuppance. Yeah. I'm just saying, I think there's
except
a bit
Leo,
of a double.
Apparently.
Yeah,
he gives
Leo.
jobs.
Maybe it's because he's white.
But look, say what you want about Leo. I know what does is very, very low key, kind of but at the very least, it does give them jobs. So, like,
oh yeah, Tom Cruise still does all his own stunts, and everybody just looks the other way when they find out he's a very prominent member of a cult.
Yeah, like, but there's the thing, it comes in levels, right? And I like to even think, like, you know, I'm not defending Leo here. I'm just saying what I'm about to say is just for laughs and ha-has. I don't, like, obviously condone him going to prey on, like, 18-year-old, like, or even, like, but also, it's like, he cuts them off. Like, it's like, he doesn't fucking do that whole Woody Allen shit where, like, he was dating that girl, like, who was, like, what, like, fucking 12, 20 years his junior and shit? At least he goes, like, 25, it's like he gives the cake. It's like, you're too old now. Sorry.
He gives the cake to get cake. It's like, what did you do, man, fucker? You gave her a bracelet? Like, oh, wow.
No, he got her a roll. That's what he did.
Oh, shit. The Hollywood.
That was the gift. You got this lead role. Enjoy it. Now we're done. Bye.
I remember fucking Kirsten Stewart was banging one of the producers of I forget whatever that movie was. It was
Kirsten Stewart.
She's
Twilight
the girl from Twilight. Yeah, she was
okay.
banging the producers of like one or such other movie. Oh, I love Kirsten. That's my girl. She's such a yacht queen, slay based, whatever, all that shit. I'm not defending Bobby Big Ballz. Get his ass out of here. What he did was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I want to point out a little bit of that double standard where internet micro celebrities are treated with such scrutiny while I feel like major celebrities kind of just get away with more heinous shit because like they're part of the elite and like can hide shit behind closed doors or whatever, or they just have fuck you money, or like they're bigger parts of our lives, or maybe they're just more touchable. Like they're less touchable. Like we can cancel micro celebrities. We can't get rid of these guys. So even though we can't, well, no, that's not true. I mean, I'm thinking like
we have taken down some.
Kevin Spacey and shit
Kevin
like that.
Kevin Spacey, Bill Cosby, Weinstein to a certain extent. Guy's still around and shit, but like, is he dead? I don't know.
No,
I don't even know.
Isn't he still in prison?
I mean, he's still in prison, but come on, he's running shit though. Let's be real.
You think?
I think so.
I don't know about that, man. I think like,
he
after
still
all
is.
the shit that he went through, I'm not sure.
I mean, I think he's just exercising more indirect control. Like tons of guys in prison, like not like exactly Hollywood executives, right? But plenty of guys in prisons have run their like criminal empires like outside of the prison anyways. It's been done.
Yeah,
for him, it's like I'm not in the public eye because like you can't bring cameras in here, so he could literally just do whatever he wants, honestly. And like I'm sure like plenty of guys still go back and forth on with him.
Maybe
I don't know this for sure. Obviously, I don't know him personally.
Where do we draw the line? I mean, you watch Sopranos, you know all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we draw the line between the shitty Twitter morality police? And again, I'm not saying I know people who have done shit that warrants them getting banned or whatever, but Smashers are fucking degenerates. They are absolute degenerates, and there's people who talk about it as if it's an inevitability, which really confirms what I said many years ago about how the Smash community is really not a place for everyone or a place for kids. It's kind of like a lot of them are just degens and stuff, or just grown-ass men.
Haven't I even
children.
shitted on them before?
Yes,
I've
you have.
shitted on them before, right?
It's like episode 5 we talked about it because a player in New England got canceled, and I wanted to talk about the backroom environment of competitive Smash and like esports in general, really, and just how the community really needed to decide what it wanted to be, if that makes any sense. That's what happens when things are grassroots and whatnot. I mean, I know way more shit than I should have any merit to because, people just talk to me and they reveal shit to me and stuff.
And just tell you stuff.
People trust me, and I used to think it was a blessing, then I thought it was a curse, now I think it's a blessing again. And the shit changes.
Huh?
Point is, what's the difference between the Twitter morality police and just getting rid of somebody and this is an actual bad thing you did and you need to take some time to reflect or be banned and think back.
But
you know what I mean?
There's also levels to it. Because this is like, he didn't really hurt nobody. He did drunk drive, but he didn't kill nobody. Let's just like at least lay out the facts here.
But he very easily could have.
But he very easily could have, yes. But again, like as far as just kind of what happened, he didn't kill nobody. There was nobody else in the car, and like it was him, right? And like at the very least, thankfully he got home okay, right? Thankfully. Compared to, let's say, like a Smash player grooming a kid. Like, it's like, I'm saying there's levels to it. Like, it's bad, but like, it's not like, like, you need to be put under the jail, like, type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's just funny because the guy who pointed it out was like a former Melee commentator who used to drop a lot of N-words. White guy from the Midwest.
Wow.
So it's just...
Who's surprised?
It's just funny. It just lets you know that everybody has shit that stinks, and it's like, is everybody gonna like just back off and like clean up their diapers like if they realize they did something wrong?
Clean out the skeletons in their closet,
or are they only gonna do it when they get caught?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to make the Smash community out like everybody is an evil or what have you, but I'm just saying a lot of them are fucking degens. I degen game with friends and stuff like that. We stay up real late playing video games sometimes, and I don't want to. They just peer pressure me sometimes, and then I'll do it sometimes when I don't feel like it. I'm getting better about that, though. But point is that, like, it's just, the community's got to acknowledge what it is, which it has. But I thought this case was really interesting because it's something that I feel I've never really seen before. Like, we got to, like, ban a Smash player because he, was drinking and driving. I've never seen that before. And it just made me think about, like, the cultural aspect of it and whatnot. I'm happy it went down the way it did. No, he should absolutely be banned, and he handled it poorly at first and then pretty gracefully afterwards, when he got, officially got banned from Twitch and shit.
I think the first time was an honest reaction, too. Like, I mean, I can't blame him for getting mad that way. But at the very least, he turned it around and like just kind of said like he sobered up a bit, slept off the alcohol, and then woke up like, yeah, I was a shithead. When I'm back on Twitter, I was just like, sorry guys, I was a bit of an asshole. My bad.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's all I have to say about that.
We're not even gonna segue. I have some words right now for the Field of Stars. For any of you who actually know what the fuck I'm talking about,
couldn't even segue if I fucking wanted to. Like,
really, there was no segue for that.
Now we're just gonna skip ahead. We're gonna drink and drive our way to the stars. Like, what am I gonna say there?
We're gonna be like the old DVDs where you just press skip to next scene or skip to next chapter. It's gonna go just abruptly. It's gonna be like, oh Jack, I wanna. You were tried before this court, young man, before the crime of blood. Like, that's literally just how abrupt it's going to be right now.
And now, our feature presentation. It's got, like, that vaporwave, like, fucking 2000s transition.
I actually really loved those. I miss those. I miss DVDs, man.
Dude, you gotta look on YouTube, because they have compilations of that shit now. Like,
oh, do they?
Yeah, they do. And they'll be like, oh, it's 1985, and you're in a Walmart. Or it's 1985 and you're in a Walmart and they're playing like, you know, like 80 songs on like a blown out speaker like it would have sounded back then.
Yeah, they would have had like the hottest movie or like the most anticipated like DVD that was supposed to come out. Like they would have it like on the big TVs that would have in the Walmart or whatever.
Yeah, or like images to trigger your nostalgia. And like one of the images will be that CRT television on top of that like go-kart wheel that they wheeled into class when you're in elementary school when it's time to watch a movie and stuff. Or like that screen like feature presentation. Just gotta look for them on YouTube, man. I listen to that stuff sometimes, man. It triggers the funny part of my brain real good.
Yeah, old fucking childhood ass shit from way back when. I used to collect DVDs. I still actually have like tons of VHS tapes and DVDs, but like for the VHS tapes, it's just kind of gathering dust because like we don't have a VCR no more. And for all you youngins who have no idea what a VCR is, it's a video cassette. What's the R?
Recorder, I think.
It is a recorder? Okay, all right. Yeah.
Hold on, I might not be sure.
So, I had my Alzheimer's low-key moment there.
Yeah, video
cassette recorder. And we played tapes on there. And it was arguably way more satisfying to shove in a video cassette than a DVD, I'll tell you that much.
Now they're just creepy. And like now we use them for analog horror and shit.
Yeah, we send like creepypastas to people using VHS tapes.
There's like 2000s like pop music song playlists, and then the thumbnail was just like Danny and Sam, which was like the perfect thing to put there. You know what I mean? Like from a 2000s cartoon, you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, you know, no VHS, VHR, rated R.
Starfield.
Star Wars.
Game.
Field.
Expensive. Movie. Also, gigantic walking simulator.
Let me it's time to go for an r/hot boy walk, ladies and gentlemen. I love it.
Let me be very clear.
Is it the Death Stranding of the stars?
Stranding field. Let me be real with you guys, okay? Let me keep it a buck with you. I have not played the game yet. So all I'm saying is certainly out of my ass, but this is all at least kind of stuff that I've noticed with the game and even just kind of reading about people's criticisms about it and like kind of just like, I mean, I'm going to play it. I already bought it, so it's like, okay, I have to play it.
How much?
I got it for on a discount.
How much?
$56.
How much is it normally?
$69. Yeah. But I was interested about it because I still played No Man's Sky. I still played like without like any irony here. I still played No Man's Sky.
Think the aesthetic of Starfield, the way they're branding it, is really cool.
It is.
Because we were just talking about nostalgia trips, actually. So it's funny enough that we actually mentioned that. I love the 1970s Kodachrome aesthetic that they went with for like the aesthetics and the theme of the game. Where like as soon as like those full color I almost said chromosomes.
Bro really like his brain was like chromosomes.
Man, I think me and Dennis both have Alzheimer's, man. Well, we're fucked.
we losing chromosomes by the day whenever we do this podcast.
Not chroma key, chroma
Cast?
what? Kodachrome.
Kodachrome.
Yes, that was what they were called back then. Like those little like digital, not digital, those little fucking, the cameras. The fucking cameras where you took a picture and then it pooped out a photo for you in real time.
Polaroids.
Thank you. Fucking God. Holy shit.
How did you go from chroma, whatever the fuck you said, to Polaroid?
Because that was what they called the colors back then, Dennis. It's like, oh, yeah, mama, take a look at my Kodachrome. You ever hear that fucking Paul Simon song? He goes like, mama, don't take my Kodachrome. Mama, don't take my Kodachrome. Mama, don't take my Kodachrome away. Yeah. Like that song. You've heard that? No?
I'm Korean. It's too white for me. I don't know that.
The point is...
Yeah.
Fucking... I love that aesthetic, because the way that those 1970s, when, like, everything was coming full color, we have full color cameras now. Look at the TVs. We have color TVs now. To express how colorful all the new technology was, they just used, like, a very shitty, like, not poorly saturated rainbow, like, to brand them with. And a lot of, like, new Polaroid cameras that they sell now, because Polaroid cameras are making a comeback, too. Because, like, they're supposed to be, like, nostalgic or, like, vintage, they market them and brand them with that same, like, 70s-looking rainbow thing, which is so cool. And Starfield is doing the same thing, which I always thought was sick. I love it when science fiction things, and I don't know what Starfield is like, but I love it when science fiction things take place in a future that is also the past. Which is like sort of steampunk, if that makes any sense. Like, Archer actually did that for Archer's 10th season. You remember I told you about Archer? How, seasons 8 through 10 were set in his head because he was in a coma. The 10th season is called Archer 1999, and it's a space theme. So it's like a made-up future where 1999 is the far-off, super far advanced year where they have all this like lasers, Star Wars technology things and whatnot, but they still talk like it's the 90s and like with 90s slang and stuff like that, which is very cool. I love it when shit does that. And I don't know too much about Starfield, besides the fact that it's apparently a walking simulator. A lot of video games are like that now. They should start just selling that shit with a little portable treadmill that you can put underneath your desk to really up the immersion. But I love the aesthetics. That's what I'm saying.
Let me also just say something, right? And this is also like just a little something that I've been noticing for a lot of people who love these kind of games, because there's still... Because it's, I think, split down the middle with this game, where people, half of them are saying like the aesthetics, the immersion, like just... The game itself, like, looks fucking amazing. Like, I love it. It makes me come. And the other side of it is that, like, this is, they're saying, an example of how not to do an open world game. And how bigger doesn't always mean better. And...
Not the size, it's how you use it.
Yeah. Because, again, we have... Frontiers. I'm not gonna say like it's like the most comparable example, right? But
yeah, not really.
At the very least in Frontiers, though, like it again, and again, not saying that like Frontiers is like better than Starfield. Relax yourselves. Just also saying though that like it's a bit different because for one, there's no vehicles in that fucking game. In Starfield, I mean, there's no quicker mode of transportation. There's a lot. Bad. There's a lot of empty space in that game that I think if anyone here has watched Charlie's video, criticals like thing, points of criticisms about the game, main thing he said was that like, not the main thing, but like among other stuff that he said, one big gripe that he had was just that like it's...
Yo, wait, you gotta do it in his voice.
Oh, you see, like you kind of just go walk around for 12 hours. There's not really anything there. And you're just kind of bored. It's just a lot of nothing. I don't really like it. Anyways, that's it. See ya.
I haven't eaten this much of a nothing burger since I went to Mr. Beast.
There is one argument that I've heard about this game that people keep regurgitating, and it's the whole "it gets good after 12 hours" argument. David. Let me. I know what you're about to say. I feel it in my nuggets. I know what you're about to say right now. Right? I agree with you 110 fucking %. If your game fucking takes 12 hours for me to be interested, it is about as interesting as me having sex with no boner. It's about as interesting. Nothing's happening. Nothing is happening, okay? I'm just lying down there hoping it's just like, it's like, oh, maybe it will go up. Oh, like, you know, maybe something will happen. The fact that you have to wait 12 hours for you to feel excited, right?
Yeah.
Means your game is inherently flawed. It's just the way it is.
Oh, but if we learned anything from watching the Breno Floss with lyrics videos from Dave Ballmer, after 12 hours, Dennis, your opinion is conjecture. Remember when he said that shit about Ocarina?
Bro, at least even in Ocarina, if that was people's argument about Ocarina, at least you could kill shit within 5 minutes of the game. You could do something. In this one, it's like, I mean, you're like the way you're kind of shoehorned into the game or the story, you're like the protagonist of the game. You are God, essentially, once you reach a certain level.
Focuses like too much on the spectacle too early, like without making sure there was actually tangible things for the player to do.
Yeah,
like,
because
is that what you're saying?
It falls into that trap of open world games where it just feels like, oh, look at all this shit you can do, but none of it really means anything. It's like just that fucking like trap that they keep falling into, and people even argue, well, it's a Bethesda game, it's just what Bethesda always done. Fallout 3 and 4 and even 76 and even fucking New World Blues, they all did the same fucking thing.
I'm sorry, I gotta cut you off. Like, if they give anything, that is not a good argument. Saying it's what they've always done.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, I hate that's the route that these I don't want to call them mouth breathers.
Yeah, I don't want to call them mouth breathers
just because it's just them like speaking their opinion in this respect. But like, because everyone just has their own preferences, right? And like, but also if you are a person who like defends Bethesda and think Todd Howard is a god, there is a problem with you. And you are the reason why that they keep going this same route. Maybe not 100% of the reason why, but you are a big reason why, because all of you keep saying that, oh, this is fine. Like, I like this. I like walking simulator for 7 hours and waiting for things to happen. It's great. That's
Sounds
you.
to me like there's some real toddlers.
If you want a better walking simulator, just play Death Stranding. Just play Death Stranding.
Or just
you
go
want
to
to walk for 8 hours? Just play Death Stranding. Just do it. You don't need to play this game. If you really love walking that much, you really love it, there's a thing called going outside your fucking door.
You beat me to it. I was gonna say, just go to the fucking gym. Or like, go to the park.
Look at some bitches. No, this is terrible. I'm joking.
I'm gonna say, like, there's no video game that you got something else. I'll let you go.
I have one last thing.
Yeah,
but it's also just like, I'm already going into this, right?
Wait. Can I say something to the emptiness of the game?
Yeah.
Because fucking the only game that I know that did it sort of by accident. You hear me out.
Okay. Guys, get the pitchforks ready.
Was fucking Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts?
I was not expecting that one.
No, because think about it.
No, but you're right, though.
That game has a gigantic, ginormous overworld with but fuck all nothing in it. Literally nothing. Which is why people theorize that Nuts and Bolts was supposed to be Banjo 3 at one point.
It's just someone told them to put a cart game in it.
Yeah.
For some whatever reason.
Which to this day, one of the absolute biggest sins in the history of the gaming industry, by the way, that they actually turned Banjo-Kazooie into that shit. But we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
But Starfield is supposed to be the big open world experience, and if there's nothing in it, motherfucker, I might as well just go to the fucking planetarium. And like sit down and like stare at the ceiling. At least I can rest my legs while I do that shit. If you're gonna make an open world game and have it be about the spectacle, then your stance on game design is inherently flawed because you're trying to make it two opposite things in one. Yep. And they're crossing each other in that way. Is your game about the spectacle, in which case it's basically an overglorified movie with a couple quick time events thrown in there, maybe some minor sections where you can walk around. First-person shooting. Basically Call of Duty, basically where you have your action sequences and then you watch a lot of the rest of it.
Space Call of Duty.
Which has been done.
Let's frame it. Let's get it in a frame right here.
Or is it an open world game which is supposed to have shit in it
to do
and walk around. You can't have it be
interesting stuff to do.
Or interesting stuff to do as well.
That's very important.
You can't have an open world game be about the spectacle. That makes no fucking sense. It's like, why would you make a gigantic overworld with absolutely nothing in it? Like, there's no point to exploring. That's like, you know, keeping an open world while keeping the original level design.
But David, let me magnify what you just said right now, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's not just an open world. It's many open worlds.
Oh, get the fuck off.
That are all
get the fuck out of here.
That are all the basically they said that like this is where I think procedurally generated anything can be a blessing and a curse, because a lot of games are using that technique to kind of like, you know, like generate like, okay, like maps and such that, again, they are procedurally generated, but at the same time, like, you know, again, I'm no expert on it, but at least I like to think that it provides like a healthy amount of variety where it's like, yeah, it is a bit different than the other, but if the differences just end that they're a different biome and not like substance, then it's basically wasted, because it's like, okay, you know, everyone hates desert levels. Fucking everybody. Most of the time you go on any desert level in any video game, it's just fucking empty. It's just sand for fucking miles an hour, like miles everywhere. You don't see nothing but fucking sand. It's coarse, rough, and irritating, and it gets everywhere. And I fucking hate looking at it most of the time anyways. Like, I hate desert levels. I just do not like them. And it sucks extra because a lot of times levels like that just have nothing in them. There's really just like sand for miles around. Now imagine you go into Starfield, right? And now, okay, you went to the desert planet. It fucking sucked, right? Now you go to like this temperate looking planet that's got rolling grass and shit. Still also got nothing in it. It's the same fucking planet. It's just got shit, had makeup slapped over it to make it look like, oh yeah, it's a little different. There's like a few little points of interest here and there that like you can find and explore. And okay, I'll even argue. People will then say, well, that's the whole point. It makes you want to explore. I get that, but it's like, if a good chunk of it is just nothing, why would I want to explore? If there's nothing absolutely there. This is also the reason why I keep going back to Sonic Frontiers, only because of the fact that it's probably the most recent open world game that I've kind of played a good amount. So right. At the very least, I have some shit to go off of. But at least in Sonic Frontiers, for one, going from point A to point B, I did not have to fast travel ever. Because I wanted to run. I wanted to run every time wherever I went. Yeah. I wanted to just Sonic run to that away, to the other side of the island if I had to.
The game has no major fast travel because you are the fast travel.
Exactly. And like, that was great because I think... Oh my god, I'm getting heated now. Fucking hell, I think...
Let the fucking beast out, Dennis.
Why do you not have vehicles in your game? If you have that much empty fucking space... And again, people may even argue like, oh, well, it's like... It makes you want to explore on foot. Who the fuck ever wants to explore on foot, man? Who the fuck ever said, oh yeah, I want to walk from this side of the planet to the other side of the planet, which will take maybe 7 hours, and like enjoy every bit of it? You will not enjoy any bit of it. I guarantee you. After 10 minutes, you're going to wish, damn, I wish I had like a horse or a car or I could fly there or something. Like, here's the thing. And I know No Man's Sky got a fuck ton of shit when it released. It got a fuck ton of shit because it did not keep any of its promises. It's come around now. And to be fair, I know it's also being compared a lot to each other. No Man's Sky and Starfield. I don't know how to frame this at all. Like, No Man's Sky...
Maybe in a Kodachrome.
It took fucking years. It took years for them to finally get to where they're at. It took years. And it was a mix of like the main creator feeling bad that like he didn't deliver on what he promised, because the way that it was advertised and everything during like the game shows like E3 and a bunch of others, I don't know if anyone remembers that. Like, do you remember the hype for that game? And here's the thing, people fell for it again with Starfield. They fell for it a fucking again. It's the same trap all you fucking all you idiots like fall for. All of you just get so stupidly excited over the same shit when they've lied to you multiple times. Not the same, obviously CD Projekt Red and guys behind No Man's Sky and Bethesda are different people, obviously, right? But they're all still corporations, man. They all just gonna push it even if it's not ready. And I mean, maybe someone will argue, no, Starfield is a completed product. Okay, sure. But goddamn, like, is it just one big nothing sandwich? It just seems like, and I know plenty of people who were excited for the game, right? And the thing is that like, it's not even the best space exploration thing out there. I'd even argue that No Man's Sky is at where it's at now is way better than fucking Starfield. And I play No Man's Sky, like, still, like, not religiously, but, like, every now and then I still pop in and just do shit there. And it's like, this is one of those games where it gets fun after 12 hours. I will admit that, because it's all it is just Minecrafting shit and getting resources, a lot of it, from the beginning. But when you, like, kind of get to, like, that point in the game where now it's like, oh, like, I could kill shit for fun. I could go to space and like shoot down a freighter that is full of people and just have it go drift off into space and explode. Like, it just like, it's like Grand Theft Auto in space. And I even thought that was the route that they were gonna go. Because a Grand Theft Auto in space in concept is just fucking, like, it just sounds great. Oh, I could just board this guy's ship when he's just like kind of drifting off into space. Board it, kill his ass, take his ship, and then fly away. That's pretty fun. At least in my opinion, that's pretty fun.
That's kind of like that open world, like, sea game. What was it? Like,
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, yeah.
That's like, that was also, Sea of Thieves' charm was honestly great for the first like 10 hours. But then when you realize that the gameplay loop is just kind of like the same fucking thing, like, over and over again, and like you just getting treasure, bringing it back to the island, dropping it off, getting your loot, hey, go back out to sea and do the exact same thing. But it was also one of those games that was just a lot more fun with friends. You playing it alone, it almost feels kind of sad, in my opinion.
Yeah, full stop. Even like in that vein of like no fast travel, no vehicles, nothing like that in a game like that, it makes me think of how insistent you are about yourself. Right? Mm-hmm. And which is hilarious because the game I'm about to compare it to is from a company that I firmly believe, and especially with this particular game that I'm about to bring up, is driven by ego. Paper Mario the Origami King. The new one. The one that was way better than like the previous installments of like Color Splash and Sticker Star. Like, it's the best of the bad Paper Mario games, basically. It's like the cream of the crap. So that game though still is constantly hitting its head against a wall, but it doesn't matter. The one section that you're in, the third chapter, where you're in the desert world, and it's a desert world. It's huge and there's nothing in it.
Yep.
And so you know what the game does? It puts Mario in a little shoe car that he can speed up as fast as he wants to get to any section that he needs to. Like, and the worst part about it, you're digging for shit too. You're literally digging for shit. No. And no, but it's good. It was fun because it didn't take 10 fucking years. It didn't insist upon itself be like, look at the paper aesthetic. Look at how unique everything is here. Don't you want to take your time with this? Have like, how many hours have you clocked, or how many star counts have you put into your star log lately? It's from a game that is fucking driven by ego because of how stupid the battle system was and how insistent they were that it's fun, which it wasn't fun. It was thrown into too many parts of that game, which made the game honestly kind of suck. Mm-hmm. The battle system insisted upon itself. It was not fun. It was a stupid puzzle system that most gamers hated and was implemented so poorly as well. And you know they thought it was genius too because they threw it into every fucking part of that game where it didn't belong. And even that game had the fucking knowledge to know big, giant open space, maybe we need a faster way to get around. Even that
maybe, just
game.
maybe. Just maybe.
Not even a firmly open world game. And the game that's supposed to be open world doesn't have that. And Frontiers... Oh, but David, Frontiers didn't have that. I said it before. You are the fast travel in that game, which is another reason why Sonic Frontiers is so fucking brilliant. It's because it's a game where you literally play as the fast travel, so which made there be no need for one. Are you the fast travel in Starfield? No. So what the fuck is the excuse? In a game that literally insists upon itself, it doesn't insist upon itself as hard as Starfield does. And you morons fell for it. This is why I'm happy I don't even have an Xbox or a PlayStation or any of this shit where like some of these games are exclusives on. It's what like the times that I'm happy to be a Nintendo fanboy, because I'm just like, man, y'all are cucks.
Oh, y'all just stupid.
There's people on my Twitter feed that just like go on there and they're just like, man, I can't believe this happened to me in Overwatch today. God, I hate this game. I can't wait to log in tomorrow. If you're an Overwatch fan, you're a cuck. You're a cuck.
If you are an Overwatch enjoyer, that's different. A fan, considering everything that's happened to the game and even you guys right now, a little cucky behavior, just saying. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And it turns out the biggest cuck of all was me. Because I wanted to prove to Dennis that he was in fact a douchebag at the beginning of this podcast and he did not know how. And throughout the entire episode, he did not make one single comment or even notice the fact that I have brand new glasses. Nor did he care.
I did notice.
Why didn't you say anything?
I was going to say it afterwards.
We're done. Here's the plugs. If you played Starfield, we'll run a poll down in the... we're going to run a poll on our mobile version. Let us know what you thought about the game.
If you guys liked it, again, we are just two idiots. I haven't even played the game yet. Maybe by the time like this video comes out, I will have played it and I'll actually have some kind of thoughts for you guys. But hey, again, if you enjoy the game and you like for what it is, by all means enjoy. I'm not taking nothing away from you. I'm just also saying though, like, you know, stop fucking being hyped for trailers. Like, it fucking bothers the shit out of me.
Never gonna happen.
It's happened 3 motherfucking times already.
Never gonna happen.
Fucking Cyberpunk 2, you fucking idiots.
We're done. Plugs. Let us know what you thought about Starfield in the comments down below if you played it. And also on Spotify comments as well, like our Spotify polls that we run.
Let us know.
Run some polls for that. Definitely, if you're on mobile, give us a quick second to go on Spotify and give us a quick little 5-star review. You don't even have to write anything because you can't write anything. It's literally just rating by stars. Helps with our SEO a lot. If you're listening on YouTube, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as give the video a like, share it around with all of your friends. You want this podcast to grow? It is in part your responsibility as much as ours, our friends. So, yeah, we're available wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. As well as right here on youtube.com/Nintoonist, which is where I know a lot of you watch. Follow us on X, Double D Pod, and on Instagram at the Double D Experience 21. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This is a fucking good one. I am feeling. I liked it. I'm feeling tingly in all the right places that only those vaporwave DVD like compilations on YouTube can really activate in my cranium. So thank you all so much for listening.
Yes.
I hope you all enjoyed. And
I'm gonna go play Starfield and enjoy that walking. All 12 hours of it.
You could have actually walked, bro.
Real life is a real game. It's a game of life. That was a terrible joke, I'm sorry. Bye. Enjoy Starfield. Enjoy your shitty walking simulator.